I have known from the beginning of the Platinum Project PlayStation 2 that in order to complete this collection, I will have to import games. And trust me, in today's episode, we have some insane imports. Folks, and welcome back to a very special episode of the Platinum Project PlayStation 2. My challenge for 2024 is to try and find every single PlayStation 2 Platinum game released here in the PAL region. And this is the important thing. The PAL region isn't just here in the UK. It is Europe and also Australia. Now, I knew all along, in order to complete this challenge, I was going to have to import some games. And honestly, I'm putting my hands up. At the beginning, I did not realise how many games I would have to import. How many games were not released here in the PAL region? And trust me folks, this time we are crossing off some absolutely insane imports. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and please subscribe, as I put new videos out every Saturday night at 5, as well as bonus content throughout the week, and I really want you folks along for the ride. If you want to go above and beyond and help me continue my hunt, please consider becoming a supporter over on Patreon. Just £1 a month and you get loads and loads of bonus content for just £1. Just before we jump into this episode of the Platinum Project PlayStation 2, I want to address a mistake I made in the last episode. There was a clip which I missed out in that episode, so here is that clip from the past. Next up, we have a delivery from a fellow YouTuber. Now, truth be told, they did message me on Instagram, but I'd love to give a shout out to their channel. This is from Katie at Bricks and Gaming, and they have just surpassed 500 subscribers on YouTube, which is a massive feat. It's one of the hardest parts for a new channel to reach that 500 milestone. And I just know that very soon Katie will hit that 1,000 subscribers, and they have sent me this game right here, F104. This is one of the things which has amazed me about the Platinum Project PlayStation 2, how hard it is to find some of these sports games. There is a lot of sports games for the Platinum Project PlayStation 2, so thank you Katie for helping me cross this one off the list. Recently, I've been on holiday in the absolutely beautiful North Yorkshire Moors National Park, and of course, while I was there, it'd be rude not to hit up a few CEX stores. 4 stores to be exact, on the hunt for PlayStation 2 Platinum games. Let's head to our first store now. The first store we visited on the way to the North Yorkshire Moors was the small town of Beverley, and this was a very, very small CEX store, and it was surprisingly busy on this Saturday afternoon, so it's very hard to film in here, but I'm just trying to give you an idea of how small this store really was. And it had a very, very small PlayStation 2 section. Don't worry, it's more than just one shelf, but I did manage to find a game which we needed for the Platinum Project PlayStation 2, Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring. Now, this is a £5 game, but it is a game I've never seen before, so very happy to pick up a game straight away in the first CEX store we visited this time. The next CEX store we visited was by the seaside in sunny Scarborough, and this was a much larger CEX store, and I'm happy to say it had a much larger PlayStation 2 section. You can see here there is a lot of PlayStation 2 games here in Scarborough, and thankfully for today, more PlayStation 2 Platinum games. This is one of the advantages of searching for PlayStation 2 Platinum games. Because they have the black and silver spines, they're very easy to find on the shelf amongst the white spine games. A common scene which we are seeing in CEX stores all around the country is the retro game sections getting smaller, so it's really good to see such a large PlayStation 2 section here in Scarborough. There was an absolutely massive selection of games, and even if you're not looking specifically for PlayStation 2 Platinum games, it was just an absolutely incredible PlayStation 2 section in general. But unfortunately, we were getting through this section, I was not finding any PlayStation 2 Platinum games which I needed this time for the Platinum Project PlayStation 2. This is something which I'm discovering. The further and deeper we get into the Platinum Project PlayStation 2, the harder it is to find PlayStation 2 Platinum games which I need, especially in CEX. It just seems like a lot of these games either are very, very uncommon, or perhaps CEX don't even sell some of these games. But it does seem it's getting so much more difficult to find these games in CEX. But when you do find one which you do need, it does make it that much sweeter. And I'd given up all hope by this time. I was thinking, right, we are coming to the last letters of the alphabet, when I found this game right here, 13. But remember, when we are looking for PlayStation 2 Platinum games, we're not just looking for the Platinum case, we also are looking for the Platinum disc. So let's hope this time 13 has the Platinum disc. Unfortunately, we didn't have any luck by the seaside in Scarborough, but let's hope we have more luck by the seaside once again in Bridlington. And again, this was a fairly large CEX store, and again, I'm happy to report it did have a fairly large PlayStation 2 section. But there's something straight away which is quite worrying here. You can see there's a lot of black and white spines and not a lot of black and silver spines. It doesn't seem that here in Bridlington there is a very large supply of PlayStation 2 Platinum games. Don't get me wrong, once again, this was an absolutely fantastic PlayStation 2 section. It's just unfortunately, I don't think again this time we're going to find any PlayStation 2 Platinum games which I need for the Platinum Project PlayStation 2. And I'm really hunting here because sometimes these games can be hidden behind other games. I know there's still some Pro Evo games we need, and it's just keeping hunting. Even though we're getting deeper and deeper into the collection, I just have to keep looking for these games, as you never know where they're just going to spring up. But it does appear that unfortunately here in Bridlington we're not going to have much luck. I did check, I wasn't sure if I had time splitters just because I picked it up so incredibly early in this challenge. And unfortunately this time in Bridlington, at first I didn't think there was going to be any PlayStation 2 Platinum games that we needed. That was until I headed to the Glass Cabinet of Dreams and saw this right here, iToy Play, boxed with a camera. It was fairly cheap, but honestly this was pretty rough, so I did decide to leave it behind. But comment below if you would have picked this one up. We had one last chance to hunt for Platinum games here in Harrogate, but thankfully this was the largest of the 4 CEX stores which I visited while I was away. As you can see in store here, this was a fairly sizable CEX store. You can see there's a lot of DVDs, a lot of Blu-rays, and I was just hoping the PlayStation 2 section was also fairly sizable. But unfortunately, it was slightly disappointing. The PlayStation 2 section was only one shelf wide, but straight away I found a game we needed, Lego Indiana Jones. Of all the Lego games released for the PlayStation 2, I think this is the one which I see the least, which is a shame, as it is a fairly solid game, so I'm definitely going to pick up that Platinum game right there. But unfortunately, that looks like that's all of the Platinum games here in Harrogate. It was a bit disappointing, but at least we managed to cross at least one game off the list for the Platinum Project PlayStation 2. Here we are then back in the games room after visiting 4 CEX stores in and around the North Yorkshire Moors National Park. And fear not, of course there'll be an upcoming episode of the Crazy World of CEX where we'll be deep diving a little bit more into those CEX stores. But unfortunately for today's episode, we only have one game to cross off the list, Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring. Now this is actually quite an interesting game, as this is based on the books rather than the movies, because this game was released before the first Lord of the Rings movie. It's kind of crazy. This one's £5, and honestly I have never seen this game before. I was this close to ordering this one on eBay because I didn't think it got a release here in the UK, but turns out it did. But there was something a little bit strange on this trip to CEX. Now I have a question for everyone out there who collects PlayStation 2 Platinum games. You saw in Scarborough I picked up a copy of 13. Now, it's fairly common for me to pick up PlayStation 2 Platinum games on the shelves at CEX and have the incorrect non-Platinum disc, such as with Lego Indiana Jones. That just had the standard disc for that game. But I have never found a copy of 13, a very common game, with a Platinum disc. But let me know in the comments down below. I haven't picked it up yet, but to the best of my knowledge, even the Platinum release of that game comes with a standard copy of the game. But let me know if I'm wrong in the comments down below. But of course, when it comes to hunting for PlayStation 2 Platinum games in CEX, I cannot possibly be everywhere. And I am eternally grateful for everyone out there who's always keeping an eye on their local CEX stores for Platinum games which I need for the collection. But I was really surprised that my good friend Dan found this game right here in my local CEX store here in the fine city of Norwich, iToy Play 2. I am amazed that it's taken us over halfway through this challenge to find this game. Thank you, Dan, for picking this up. It is very, very much appreciated, even if it was right under my nose all along. But that's not the only Dan I want to give a shout out to. I want to give a massive shout out to Dan the Dude 666, who gave me a heads up that this game was for sale over on Vinted. This is a game which seemingly used to be a lot more expensive, and I got this at an absolute bargain price. So thank you, Dan, for the heads up on this one. It has taken me a very long while to find this game right here, Shadow the Hedgehog. Now again, to the best of my knowledge, this never got a PAL UK release. I think this one was released in Spain. Let me know in the comments down below. Again, I may be wrong, but I picked this up for an absolute bargain price, thanks to Dana Dude. When it comes to picking up games for the Platinum Project PlayStation 2, I like to use eBay as a last resort. But when it comes to import games, it can be the easiest, most cost-efficient way to pick up some of these games. And a lot of you viewers and my good friend and fellow YouTuber PS2 Mini Games have recommended an eBay seller called Momox UK because some of their import prices are so cheap. So when I saw this FIFA game, which I need for the war on FIFA, which if you remember in the last episode, I declared I'm trying to get every single FIFA game crossed off this list. For the price, I had to pick it up. It was an absolute bargain. But here's the slight issue. When I open it up, we have a copy of FIFA 09. Looking good so far. It's platinum, but inside, unfortunately, it's FIFA 06. Standard edition. So unfortunately this time was a fail, but I'm sure in the future I'll try again with Momox UK. But without a shadow of a doubt, for importing PlayStation 2 Platinum games, the best website which I've been recommended recently is XQ Gaming. They are based in the Netherlands, and here's the thing folks, normally when you are importing games, one of the largest costs is postage. Normally you can pay £7 to £10 just on postage. But here's the beauty of XQ Gaming, you can combine on postage. And I managed to cross some amazing games off the list, as well as picking up something which I've never ever seen before for the Platinum Project. So the first game I picked up from XQ Gaming is iToy Play 2, and apologies to Dan for this one, but here's the thing with XQ Gaming, they do take a little while to deliver. It took about 2 weeks for my order to deliver, but it's quite interesting seeing the kind of subtle differences between these two games. Covers are very similar. On the back, obviously it is different language, and more interesting, with this copy from XQ Gaming, it does say not to be sold separately, so somewhere out there is a boxed copy of iToy Play 2 which comes with the camera. Now I think PS2 Mini Games actually picked this up recently, but if anyone finds a boxed copy of this game with the camera, please hit me up. Now this has left me with quite the conundrum, what to do when it comes to variants. Now I've decided in my own mind, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, that when it comes to variants, I'm going to aim to try and find the UK release of these games. With some of these games, they never got a UK release, but if there is one, I am going to try to find it. If I can't find it, I'm happy to settle for one from Europe or even Australia, but let me know what you do in the comments down below, especially now when I have duplicates of certain games. But that's not all from XQ Game. We also have a copy of iToy Play 3 and iToy Play Sports, which means we need one more iToy Play game, iToy Play Groove. So if you have a copy of that or know anywhere I can purchase it, hit me up in the comments down below. We have two more items from XQ Gaming, the last of which is absolutely insane. But first off, we have a Platinum game which I've been on the lookout for absolutely ages, and I'm amazed I couldn't find it here in the UK, and that is the Getaway Black Monday. Now of course this game is set in London, it's absolutely incredible. When this came out it blew me away how realistic its portrayal of London was. Now here's the thing, earlier in this episode we said about 13 not coming with a platinum version of the game. Now when I open this game, it comes with once again the standard black label disc. But once again, like 13, let me know in the comments down below, is there a platinum copy of the Getaway Black Monday which comes with a platinum disc, or does every copy simply come with the black label? I have saved the best for last. When I saw this on the XQ Gaming website, I knew I needed to have it. I have never seen this before, and as a PlayStation 2 Platinum collector, I needed to have this in my collection. It is box only, but it is a PlayStation 2 console variant which has Platinum games packaged in. It comes with Jack Free Platinum and Ratchet & Clank Free Platinum. Yes, this is box only, but this is super cool. And up until now, when it comes to PlayStation 2 Platinum collecting, this is the craziest thing I've seen so far. But stick around until the end of the episode, as honestly, the crazy has only just begun. All throughout the Platinum Project PlayStation 2, I've tried to shine a spotlight on as many of the amazing independent gaming stores we have here in the UK as possible. So when I visited Scarborough, as well as going to a medieval jousting event, I wanted to visit one of the incredible retro gaming shops here in the North Yorkshire Moors National Park. And that store in question is the Game Pad here in central Scarborough. And this is my kind of independent gaming store. It is absolutely jam-packed with retro and modern games, toys, everything which I love. And I do mean jam-packed. This shop was stacked literally from floor to ceiling. I don't think they could fit many more games in this store, and I knew if I was going to find some Platinum games which we needed for the Platinum Project PlayStation 2, this was going to be one of my best opportunities. And you can see here, as well as a sizable PlayStation 1 selection, there was a massive section of PlayStation 2, and let's just say it now, every single console. There was so much stuff in this store. I was really hoping we'd find some Platinum games. Like I said then, these games were stacked in here, and it's easy to see the Platinum games. And the thing was, these shelves were so stacked, they went too deep. But what I didn't realise at first is these shelves are actually literally held up by the number of PlayStation 2 games here. There is so many games. This store is literally rammed, and I absolutely love it. But the problem is, even I can easily see these PlayStation 2 Platinum games. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing any games which I specifically needed this time. Amazing store, but no luck here. Which brings us on to our final pickups this time. And I've said all along from the start of the Platinum Project PlayStation 2, I am unable to complete this challenge without your help. And this is especially true when it comes to PlayStation 2 Platinum games that were not released here in the UK. That's why I'm eternally grateful to a good friend and viewer of the channel, Sebastian, who has been hitting up his local retro game shops over in Germany on the hunt for PlayStation 2 Platinum games. And we have some crazy titles in here, including a game which I never realised got a PlayStation 2 Platinum release. But that's not all. He's not just sent some incredible items for the Platinum Project PlayStation 2, but something which I've never seen before for the PlayStation Platinum Project. And that is this item right here. It is a slipcase for 3 of the Disney games that were released for the PlayStation Platinum Collection over in Germany. Now, once again, this is case only. It's seen better days, but this is the kind of weird oddity I love to find. Now, of course, I have these 3 PlayStation 1 Platinum games. I will be putting them in a slipcase, and honestly, Sebastian, this is super cool. I've never seen this before, and I'm so happy to have it in my PlayStation 1 Platinum collection. Just before we jump into these absolutely amazing games which Sebastian has sent for the Platinum Project PlayStation 2, there's just a few things I thought I'd mention. First off, he has sent these games without the cases, so it is artwork, manual and disc only, because it saves so much money on postage, and of course I have plenty of spare PlayStation 2 Platinum cases. Secondly, on the side of the screen here is a list of PlayStation 1 Platinum games which I would like to find. These games are UK exclusives that Sebastian needs for his PlayStation 1 Platinum collection. I want to find them and send it to him as a thank you for helping me out so much with the Platinum Project PlayStation 2. So if you have any of these games for sale, hit me up and let's help out a fellow collector. Let's jump into these absolutely incredible PlayStation 2 Platinum games. I can guarantee there will be at least one of these games which you have never seen for the PlayStation 2 Platinum collection. And first off, we have Soul Calibur 3. I have never seen this. I'm not going to say about every game, but I've never seen this game before for the PlayStation 2 Platinum Collection. Next up, we have a game which is very close to my heart. Star Wars The Force Unleashed. Absolutely fantastic game. Then one, I've been after this one for a long while. The eBay sold listings of this are high. Max Payne 2, The Fall of Max Payne. One of Rockstar's greatest releases of all time. Next up, we have another game which has such fond memories. Me and my brother used to play this game all the time. Tony Hawk's Underground 2, an absolute bona fide banger. And then a game I've said all along, this is a list of PlayStation 2 Platinum games released in the PAL region. To the best of my knowledge, this game was not on the list. From Russia with Love. I never knew this got a PlayStation 2 Platinum release, but here it is. It's one to add to the list. Which brings us on to the final game which Sebastian has sent me for the Platinum Project PlayStation 2, the absolutely iconic Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. And this is interesting for a couple of reasons. First off, much like 13, to the best of my knowledge, this only comes with a black label disc rather than a PlayStation 2 Platinum disc, and it also does come with a bonus DVD. But this isn't the only thing which is super interesting about this copy of Metal Gear Solid 3 which Sebastian has sent me. Not only has Sebastian sent me this absolutely incredible copy of Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, he has also sent me something which I have never seen before. A slipcase for the Platinum release of this game. I have never seen any PlayStation 2 Platinum game which comes with a slipcase until now, and it's not only just this slipcase, we have another one to add to the collection. Here it is then folks, in all its glory, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater in its slipcase, which I've never seen before, which does say on the front, comes with an exclusive DVD. But this is not the only slipcase which Sebastian has sent me. He's also sent me this one right here for Gran Turismo 4 and Tourist Trophy. Two incredibly strange games to have together, but once again, this is an absolutely incredible PlayStation 2 Platinum oddity. I've never seen this before, and thank you so much to Sebastian for sending me this for my collection. I have said all along, the Platinum Project PlayStation 2 isn't just about collecting games, it is about playing games, whether for the first time ever or for the first time in years. And in the case of this game right here, Star Wars The Force Unleashed, today will be the first time I've ever played the PlayStation 2 version of this classic Star Wars game. Something to consider if you are going to pick up Star Wars Force Unleashed on the PlayStation 2 Platinum label. Unfortunately, it does not have English language selectable. Something to consider if you are going to pick up this Platinum release. Voiceover Dan here for reasons which I'll explain in a moment, but first things first, whenever I load up this game, for some reason it is very dark. I have to go into the options and turn up the brightness. So you may be wondering why I'm doing a voiceover. Well, sadly, shockingly, this Star Wars game is full of Star Wars music, which YouTube absolutely hates. As soon as I uploaded this video, it was like, nope, copyright, so I'm just going to do a voiceover here because I still wanted to play this absolutely incredible Star Wars game. Star Wars The Force Unleashed lets you do exactly that. You start the game playing as Darth Vader with every single Force ability unlocked, and for lack of a better term, you get to unleash the Force. It is so awesome being able to play the game from the start as Darth Vader and see how powerful you will become over the course of this game. I've only ever played this before on the Xbox 360, and honestly, I'm blown away by how good this PlayStation 2 port is. It is absolutely fantastic. I love this game. Such an iconic Star Wars experience. I am absolutely blown away to be able to say at this point in the Platinum Project PlayStation 2, we have 12 games to cross off the list. Most of these are import games which were never available here in the UK. I'm absolutely so thankful to everyone who's helped out throughout this challenge. Let's add these to the shelf and cross them off the list. I am absolutely blown away and so thankful to be adding these games to the shelf for the Platinum Project PlayStation 2. Yes, unfortunately they still are not alphabetized, but I've been hunting hard for these PlayStation 2 Platinum games, and I believe in my heart of hearts, with your help, we can still complete the Platinum Project PlayStation 2. There we have it then, folks. That was another absolutely amazing episode of the Platinum Project PlayStation 2. And you may remember in the last episode, I declared a war on FIFA. And I am hoping and praying by the end of the next episode of the Platinum Project PlayStation 2 that we'll be able to cross off not just every single PlayStation 2 FIFA game that was ever released for the Platinum Collection, but also the final PlayStation 1 Platinum FIFA games which I need for the collection. So stay tuned for that one. Trust me, folks, you are not going to want to miss it. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe, and until next time, let the games begin. See you all soon.